Start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
So at 7:55, where I should have been in bed, she calls and said the tire's completely flat.
Oh, no.
Every decision I've ever made in my entire life has been wrong.
So I had to go pick her up.
Yeah.
I got to deal with that today. And then the garage door broke.
My life is the complete opposite of everything I want it to be.
Yeah.
So the garage door doesn't work.
Doesn't
with
open
a
and close.
snowstorm coming.
Yeah, that's not great.
Every instinct I have in every aspect of life, be it something to wear, something to eat, it's up and wrong.
It's not Murphy Law.
Yeah.
It's my Murphy's law, okay?
the
All
rule
right.
of
It's
three.
Kelly's law, okay? Murphy, Kelly.
Murphy.
Schmidt.
Yes. I will do the opposite. I used to sit here and do nothing and regret it for the rest of the day. So now I will do the opposite and I will do something.
No, it's not up to
there's
three.
Well, that's my
You made
That's
an
the rule
addendum.
of three, yes.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride and she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her
No, but for real this time.
wanna fight, he ain't
For real this time. Every time the guy says, here's Jen Latta, and it's like, nope, just kidding, it's Gabe Neitzel.
Oh, Jen's voice got a little deeper today.
Jen's voice did get deeper. I can go lower. Good to be back. Good to be done with college football. We crowned a national champion the other night. Woof. I want to talk about that game, but not right this second.
Okay.
I do want to talk about that game.
All right.
College football season is over. I was just telling Gabe Neitzel that next year, the national championship game is, mark your calendars, everybody, January 20th. Oof. Yeah.
I guess there's a lot more games, huh?
I guess when you expand the playoff to 12 teams, somehow
afford it.
you got to work a few more games in there, huh? Yeah. Oof. So, and then I heard that there's talk, and we've talked about this before, about moving the Super Bowl, right? They're trying desperately to slide that Super Bowl to the President's Day weekend so that everybody has off on President's Day, which would be
Who
the day
gets off
after.
on President's Day other than bankers
I thought-
and postal workers? Nobody gets President's Day off.
Is that true?
I don't know anyone.
Oh. All I know is I was having conversations with people who would know this weekend, and they were saying, yeah, and just wait until they move the Super Bowl to President's Day weekend, and then da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, long story short, yesterday, I was afraid that some of the government offices would be closed because of the snowstorm here that we got in
sure.
Wisconsin. I thought maybe there would be like,
Well, like every school,
post office.
seemingly every school was closed yesterday.
yes, and let me just tell you, again, it's not about me, but I just want to talk about me for a second, Toby Keith.
a little bit about it.
So I get home yesterday at 11 a.m., was on a 7 a.m. flight, which meant I woke up at 4 to get from my hotel to the airport, which I went to bed at 12:15. So, that was a rough one. Nothing like getting that call from the school. Nothing like it. When I thought all I would do yesterday was sleep.
Because all your
Hey!
kids would be gone.
All the kids are home. No school for you. Sorry. No big deal. Fine. Yesterday, guys, was the day after Chase's, my son's, 15th birthday. And ordinarily, the 15th birthday, not that cool, right?
Yeah.
But the way that the DMV has structured driving school in this state is you can take a online class. He had to take, I think it was 30 classes online. And if you complete that by your 15th birthday, you can walk into the DMV on your 15th birthday and get your temps, get your driver's permit. Our thing was back in Illinois when I was growing up, when you turned 15, you could start driver's ed.
Yeah.
He's done with driver's ed. He's finished with it. All he has to do now is the road, but get time behind the wheel.
Does he have a class that somebody else because that's what I remember. Because I remember you had the actual class, but then we had to schedule a time. It was me and another one of my classmates. We had a driving time together with the driving instructor. The person who's got the brake on their side, so that he'll stop you if he needs to.
So no, he'll take a road test. And here's the other thing, guys. When he turns 15 and a half, he can take the road test.
So he could get his driver's license in 6 months.
I think that's what the lady was saying yesterday. Now, I want to confirm on that. But, it just accelerates the whole process, right? Again, I wasn't even able to start driver's ed until I turned 15. He turned 15 on Monday. He's done with the driver's ed classes online. He already took the 30 hours.
Wait. So if he's not going and somebody's oh, here's how you drive. I'm going to sit next to you and show you all these things. If there's no driving instructor, who's teaching him how to drive?
I am.
You got a different one for that? There you go. What? You?
Yeah, what do you mean? What you? I'm the
Don't
mom.
you want to? Don't do? Yeah, like
For a small fee, I can ensure the safety of your child, and I'll do it myself.
How small of a fee?
A couple bucks.
Have to be pretty low. I can do this. I can teach my kid how to drive, Gabe.
I cannot imagine you teaching someone how to drive. Like, unless it's one of those, hey, don't do these things. Yeah. Like, if it's one of those, hey, do the opposite of what I'm doing. Otherwise, how are you teaching your child how to drive? How is that safe for anybody?
Well, I know how you're supposed to drive. I just choose not to do it myself.
Are we sure?
I guess, you know what? I guess he'll have to probably learn the hard way because you're going to teach him, I guess, for these next 6 months. He's going to go in for the driver's test and he's going to realize that, oh, those speed limit signs, they actually do mean something.
So this ties in with another conversation that we were having in our household yesterday, guys, which is that my insurance rates have skyrocketed.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
It's just
put a 15-year-old on there?
Not even that. I haven't even put him on the insurance yet, right? Like that, we have to do that. I'm talking about just because of the accidents and the issues that I've had over the last year. So we were thinking about it, and the insurance people were like, there was an incident in March, there was an incident in July, there were 2 incidents in September that my insurance company had to pay for. So I was trying to remember what happened in March. In March, my girlfriend and I went to Sarah Silverman in Madison. I'm pretty sure this is what this was. And we were careening off the highway because there was a snowstorm.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and I slid into the guardrail and did a 360 on the highway and ended up in the ditch. Was able to get myself out of the ditch so we didn't have to call AAA or anything like that. So that was that. So yesterday, Dario and I were trying to go through all of the accidents and figure out what was what and which was which. And Chase, the lovely 15-year-old, pops in and goes, if you can't remember which accident was which, it's quite possible, Mom, that you've had too many.
Yeah, you think? The 15-year-old's making the most sense. You have to, I guess I don't know what kind of driver Dario is, but you're going to have to trust him with this thing. I don't think this is something that you can take on.
I think I can teach him. I think I'll be okay. Right? Because I know what you're supposed to do. I just oftentimes choose not to.
No, because look, for the safety of everybody in the greater Milwaukee area, we cannot have you teaching another member of your family how to drive like you.
What do you
can't
think?
do it.
Should I, Joshy?
No, hire
Should I
Joshy.
be able hire Joshy?
Yeah.
Joshy, what's your rate to teach Chase how to drive?
$50 a lesson.
Seems reasonable.
Seems very reasonable.
But then there's the ego strike that's happening right now. Okay, I don't know what price I want to put on that, but the fact that you're telling me I literally cannot teach my child how to do something.
You can, but you'll be worried sick about your child every time he gets behind a wheel.
I think he knows this is one of those do as I say, not as I do moments.
And the second he fails that driver's test, you know who he's blaming.
There's no way Chase is failing a driver. He's a straight A student. Right?
He's must have good teachers up there.
It's like Pavlov's dog, though. He's had so much time with a bad driver. He's experienced it for 15 years of his life. He's got to break a lot of bad habits.
When he starts following somebody who cuts him off during his driver's test, becomes a hostage situation with the guy who's grading him.
Are you putting this on the poll, Josh? Are you putting on the poll whether or not I should be able to teach my 15-year-old how to drive, given my driving record?
I'm simply going to ask, should Jen be allowed to teach her child how to drive? And then I did get information from Todd and Franklin that the driver's tests are now basically back to normal. So he still has to do the 6 turns of testing and the road test at the DMV, but I believe it is back to 16 is what he's communicating.
Okay, that's good to know. So he does still have to, and by the way, that's what I thought, but the lady did say that at 15 and a half, he could come in for his behind the wheel test.
I know it's changing. I read the news story because before there was no road test.
Right, because of COVID, but now that we've
passed parents could just yeah, my kid can drive.
Just for anybody who thought maybe yesterday for a good 45 minutes that we were in 2020, since we were still litigating COVID, it is not 2020 anymore. We are not talking about COVID anymore. It is 2024, and we here at Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are moving the hell on. But but I digress. We're putting it on the poll. Should Jen be able to teach her 15-year-old how to drive? Again, I was telling you about the insurance situation. They want to charge me $533 a month for my insurance premium now. They were like, we have several incidents on your record from last year.
Incidents is putting it kindly.
One time I backed out of my driveway and hit the babysitter's car. She was parked behind my garage door.
Where else is she supposed to park, Jen?
That's a great question by you, Gabe. I have not yet figured out the answer to that.
She's coming to your house to watch your children. Where else is she supposed to park?
Well, now they don't park there, just so you know.
Well,
now.
yeah, I mean, lesson learned by them, I guess.
No, again, I shouldn't be laughing about it because honestly, it's very embarrassing. Like, it's one of those things that, like, it is a huge flaw in my character that I am a bad driver.
Well, I mean, again, I think of when you first joined the show and you're friends with Diana Rossini, you got Diana on the show, and we asked Diana, hey, tell us something about Jen that we don't know. And her first response was, oh, this is easy. Jen runs out of gas more than any human should.
That's true, because I would
Like
always
anything,
call her.
it's not even.
We'd be
what
on
does
the
that
phone.
mean?
We'd be on the phone, and I'd be like, oh, crap, I'm out of gas. She'd be like, where? I'm like, on the side of the road.
Hold on, Jen.
I got to walk.
Jen, I don't want to look into your pocketbook here by any means, but you're not driving cars that have broken gas gauges. Typically, since about 2014, they make loud dings. Oftentimes, they say the amount of miles you have on them. So how, when it gives you all these ways to prevent that, do you manage to run out of gas?
It's either laziness, which
What do you mean laziness? You can't, running out of gas is so much more work.
it's true, but I do like to gamble. That's the thing. Like, I'm like, when this was happening as often as it was, I was making the 50-minute commute from our house in Fairfield, Connecticut to Bristol, Connecticut, and there weren't a ton of gas stations along the way. There was literally like one in Waterbury, so I would stop there occasionally, and then there was one when you got to Bristol. And so you do the math in your head, like, well, the ding just went off. Usually that means I have 42 miles before empty. Can I get from where I currently am to where the next gas station is on this commute? It happens far less frequently now that I live here in Milwaukee and there are more gas stations between point A and point B. Now, does that mean it's never happened in Milwaukee? No, it doesn't mean it's never happened in Milwaukee.
It happens
just
less.
means it happens less frequently.
You don't have I certainly don't have this as much as people I've been around, but when the low gas light gets off, I know people who like really don't even get to that point. They see it getting
Gabe
close.
says aren't you, or it's you or Chew, it's one of these two guys in here that only let it get to the half.
Yeah, he does the half thing.
As
Yeah.
soon as it gets to half, he interprets it as empty and runs back and fills it up again.
Yeah, I like to fill up before the light goes off, and once the you need gas thing goes off, I start to get a little anxious. So I usually make a stop very quickly.
Oh, there's angst. Don't get me wrong. There's angst. It's
But there's
actually,
also some excitement I'm
thank
feeling.
you. Yes,
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
you're like, are
you're
you
some sort of action star
are you
trying
confusing
to beat?
angst for adrenaline? Is that what's happening here?
What about the car makes you turn into a maniac?
Right? Like, she's usually pretty measured. She's like, all you see her on TV, and she's like, she's a really put together person presenting these incredibly serious stories. Put her behind the wheel of a car.
I turned into Tootses.
Things go off the rails in a remarkable way.
She's flying all over the country, it's unbelievable.
Well, that's the other thing, right? Don't put me on planes as often where I don't have to control the transportation, and maybe I'd be better at driving. I don't know, guys. Maybe I should work on that in 2024. Maybe my 2024 resolution should be
Not
to
run
have
out of gas?
no incidents in the vehicle.
No
None.
car-related
No
incidents.
car-related incidents. Is that doable? Is that possible, Gabe?
Does it count as an incident? Are we talking about incidents that only the insurance people would notice? Or again,
I think we should go all across the board.
Yeah. So you following tracks that are fresh in the snow because somebody cut you off, that counts as an incident.
Certainly would.
Okay. All right. So you would limit
We're not going to do that
All right.
anymore. We're not going to. We're not going to
think
run
it-
out of gas anymore.
it extends-
We're not going to park in the handicap spots in the parking lot
Thank you. I was
anymore.
going to say that. I was going to say parking tickets, I think, have to count.
Yep.
I think any parking related issues, you nick a car on the way out, anything along those lines, all count.
Okay. All right. Well, let's cross our fingers then, because
I give you 6 weeks.
no, that's not 6 weeks.
I mean, the bad weather's just about to hit. Like, I feel if you get through the winter It's got to be pretty good. 'Cause the first one you had last year, again, you went to. I mean, didn't you buy the Sarah Silverman tickets on like a whim, though?
Yeah, totally. We were like, hey, Sarah Silverman's coming to Madison.
Didn't completely realize it was in Madison.
Horrible weather.
Yep.
I've had to do a lot of things on a whim. I don't end up in ditches.
It's a fair point by Joshy. It's very fair.
And what we need to realize here is this is crunch time for Jen because, as you mentioned, the winter. But guess who's around a lot more and on less planes and traveling? You're going to be around.
Shoot, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to be driving a lot more than I was the last 6 months.
But I'm saying you get through the winter. You know, you get into April, then it's good weather driving. College football season be here before you know it. You're driving less.
Yes, 800-990-3776. 1, should I be able to teach my 15-year-old how to drive given my own driving record? And 2, can I go the full year without any driving-related incidents? And we're talking parking tickets. We're talking about parking in the handicap spots, in the parking structure, even when it's under construction and they've eliminated about 70% of the other spots. We're talking about, remember when I had the rental car when I had to go to Penn State and I told you I was riding on the shoulder because I was late getting to the game? Maybe I didn't share that one with the public. Certainly can, I suppose.
I mean, you have does leaving your rental car, does that count? Where you left the rental car like right at the entrance?
I forgot that I did that. I was running so behind. I literally left the rental car at the departures. No, you know where you drop people off?
Correct.
Yeah, I just left it there.
You just left the car
And then
there.
I called them and said I couldn't find the rental car facility, but that the car was there, so they should go and get it.
Did they ever charge you? Did you ever get charged or anything for like that?
No,
So
not.
they actually just went and did it for you?
Yes.
ESPN?
No, nothing.
Well, no,
because I get the invoice, I get the folio. Nope, just went and got it.
They just went and
I
got
think
it.
they were just happy that it was on property, guys. Let's go out to John on the road. John on the road has a helpful tip for my driving issues. Good morning, John.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. Jen, you're going to luck out with Chase having such great grades. You should be able to submit them to get a little bit of a discount for a good grade student. But your premiums with a 15-year-old son probably are going to double. And to answer your questions, I know it's more fun to say yes, but in both of these cases, the answer is no. You should not teach your son how to drive because your horrible driving record. For the safety of all of us.
Wait, and you said the answer is no to both of those things. So you don't believe that I can go a year without an incident either?
Oh gosh, no. You've had 4 since March. Jen, I drive about 40 to 50,000 miles a year, and I can't remember if I haven't had an accident in probably 20 years. And you're doing 4 a quarter. So
one a quarter, but
okay,
yes.
1 a quarter.
Yeah.
I hope you make it.
Still
I really
still
do.
seems
I
excessive.
want you to. But
He's
just,
rooting for you.
You gotta slow down a little.
I think what John is trying to say is this is one of those long shots that Jen would absolutely put money on at Potawatomi. The odds are 4,000 to 1, guys. I could hit.
John's rooting for you. He really wants you to get it together. But
Oh my goodness.
We need you to be a self-reporter here.
I will. I'll tell you guys. Look,
Because
the fact
in
that I tell
fairness,
Gabe
yeah,
every time I have.
I was going to say, maybe you sneak it to Gabe, but it seems like all the incidents don't make it on the air. Now everyone's invested. The whole audience.
I will tell you guys.
in fairness, Jen has self-reported a lot of these.
I did hit something recently where no. This is not, again, this is pre-2024. This is pre-2024. But all of a sudden, I don't even know what I hit. But the thing that covers up the hitch, there's a little plastic thing that covers up the hitch on the back of the Tahoe. Yeah. Well, that popped off. Now it's just sitting in the back of the Tahoe. Got to get that thing put back on. I don't even know what I hit. I hit something.
Don't know what you hit.
I don't know what I hit.
Maybe that's a problem. Because if I hit something, I know what I hit.
Wait, so you just walked out and in your driveway that was just sitting there on the ground?
I hit something. I just don't know. I'm trying to remember what I hit that the little plastic piece that covers the hitch popped off.
Hitting things in 2024 is preposterous. You have a backup camera.
It's true.
You can see everything
Not
back
only do I have a backup camera, but I have the dings, beep, 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 beep,
In the front?
and I have the vibration in the seat, you guys. I have the vibration in the driver's seat. It goes zzz, zzz.
I didn't even know that existed.
Ryan weighing in saying, didn't Jen get her license in Illinois? That explains everything. We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Time to move on.
Feels like a good time to move on. We got a lot of stuff to get to this morning. We want to talk about Jordan Love. We want to talk about the Green Bay Packers. A huge game this week. I am thrilled. I cannot even tell you guys how proud I was. And not because I felt like I was right or vindicated or any of those things. Just absolutely bleeping proud of this Green Bay Packers team for being a postseason squad. We'll get into all of that right after this on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
For the most part, we're looking pretty good through Milwaukee County. We have a little bit of a slowdown on southbound 43 from just before Hampton all the way down to Locust. But other than that, just some slick conditions in Waukesha County and in Washington and Dodge counties. We got that. And then we've also got an accident on 894 westbound just west of 60th Street off on the right shoulder. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Mostly cloudy, breezy, early with a high of 34. Tonight, snow showers about 1 to 2 inches possible with a low of 28. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Play Whistling Straits and other Pro Tour courses, whatever the weather is, in one of their 12 state-of-the-art simulators.
Discover, this is Daniela.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making me feel so special. I earned cash back on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great, but with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cash back on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Do you like asparagus and mushroom sorbet? I've got leftovers.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to Discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
Take your new year to the next level with live experiences from Vivid Seats. Score tickets for all basketball, hockey, and pro football games. Plus, with a 100% buyer guarantee, Vivid Seats always has your back. See every buzzer beater, touchdown, and shootout live and in person with great deals on great seats. Plus, with Vivid Seats rewards, you can earn with every purchase, like surprise seat upgrades, birthday discounts, free tickets, and more. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
There are many reasons to choose document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. Chris McLean, co-owner of DBAT Brookfield, the baseball and softball training facility, had his reasons.
I think the biggest thing, the important things for me are effective communication and timely response.
James Imaging Systems, Kyocera, Kyocera copiers, Kyocera network printers, Kyocera color systems, and the James team that works with you to provide the business technology to help you thrive.
Honestly, Candy had a lot to do with it.
Candy, your James Imaging Systems sales representative.
Candy built great rapport with our general manager right out of the gate. It helps that they're a local business. We're a local business as well.
James Imaging Systems, effective communication and local responsiveness.
They're a partner. James Imaging is a partner, not a vendor.
Kyocera. Kyocera from James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Stay up to date on the green and gold all season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Josh said it's garbage.
I'm so glad that Josh is getting a front row seat.
He said it doesn't work.
Chewy,
am I right or wrong?
We call that a setup in the biz.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Just a few minutes before Adam Schefter will join the program, got to see Adam Schefter on Monday night in Houston. He was obviously over the moon with the Michigan win. I'm sure we'll mention that to him when we talk to him in just a few moments. Guys, this morning I want to talk about the Green Bay Packers and the Cowboys. I'm sitting on the floor, literally, of my hotel room watching the game on Sunday. And the overwhelming feeling I had, Gabe, was pride. I was proud of this young team. And I don't know if that's the mom in me, because I'm 43 years old next week. birthday drop.
Is that because we got your birthday wrong last year?
Yes, it is.
What day is it? Can you confirm it again?
It's the 14th.
Yeah.
I think it's a weekend. Is it a weekend? Maybe not. Maybe it's midweek. I don't know. I was just aiming for
you don't know.
I was.
Isn't it Sunday?
Yeah.
I was aiming for January 8th.
It's this Sunday. Yes.
And I was aiming for January 8th. And once January 8th passed, the rest of the days mean nothing. But proud. Were you proud? What was the overwhelming emotion you had when the Packers punched their ticket to the playoffs on Sunday?
I don't know if it was pride, but it was excitement. Because, I mean, again, this is a young team. And the thing I thought of right away when I was doing the postgame show and I wrote it down, and it was more Jordan Love related. Remember when they were 2-5 and they didn't win a game in October and his completion percentage was well below 16? We're thinking, man, you know what? If Jordan puts together a really good second half of the season, maybe he can touch 60% completion. And he finished with 64. I mean, to go 7-3 in your last 10 games, to bounce back for as bad as it looked, to get as good as it looked. I know in the college space, when I would fill in on ESPN radio, we would always talk about the growth of Jalen Milroe at Alabama, and that was a big reason that they went to the college football playoff. The growth of Jordan Love, I don't know if I've seen a quarterback grow in front of our eyes like this. Because when Aaron Rodgers took over, I don't remember as much in 92 when Brett took over, but when Rodgers took over, you kind of knew right away. Like, he beat Minnesota right away. He had a couple of ridiculous throws in that game that I remember on Monday Night Football in his first season as starting. You're like, oh, okay. 6 games in, they gave him the extension. 7 games in, like, Chewy's going, do we want to see Sean Clifford? Of this. And for him to go from not being able to complete the simplest of passes on a regular basis to I don't know what 5 plays I'm choosing for the all 22 we're going to do this week, because Jordan Love dropped so many dimes. Some of them were dropped in the end zone. Like, he's gone from not even just completing those passes, but completing the high level difficulty passes and making it look all so relatively easy.
And I've used Jordan Love, honestly, guys, in the last 24 hours as an example when asked about guys like Michael Penix Jr. or J.J. McCarthy, right? Michael Penix Jr. looked like a world beater when he played Texas in the Sugar Bowl, right? It looked like he could not miss. And then he looked not that in the national championship game, right? And so somebody was asking me, like, well, what do you see as far as his ability to transition to the NFL? I said, I think it depends wholly on what type of leadership he has. And I shouted out Tom Clements because, again, I will say the very best thing that Aaron Rodgers did for Jordan Love was to bring Tom Clements in for his final years and then have him stay for Jordan Love, because I think he's obviously wholly responsible for that evolution that we saw over the season and convincing him that he could continue to get better, even in a small window of a season.
Josh, you just go ahead and clip that up, send it to Tausch. Just all the Tom Clements love, send it to Tausch.
Why?
Because he was making fun of me earlier this season when I was talking about how much I thought Tom Clements stuck around for Jordan Love. And turns out I think that he did stick around for Jordan Love because there was a lot of potential there.
Yeah, again, just like me teaching Chase how to drive. When you see an opportunity to pass on your greatness, to pass on all of your knowledge, you seize that, don't you? We got to take a break. We got Adam Schefter coming up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We'll talk to him about his Michigan team winning the national title and the Green Bay Packers' chances against those Cowboys this weekend.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got some accidents out on the road. First of all, westbound on 894, west of 60th Street, off on the right shoulder. Car broken down. Actually, an accident right there. Then we've also got 794 westbound, right at Lincoln Memorial Drive, off on the right shoulder. We got a crash there as well. For the most part, delays stretching from Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive. Typical stuff. Eastbound, on and off the brakes between 76th Street and the Stadium interchange. And just watch out for some slick spots, especially in the western counties. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, mostly cloudy and breezy early with a high of 34. Tonight, snow showers about 1 to 2 inches, a low of 28. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. A couple years ago, my knee was acting up. As an athlete, I've played through pain before, but it was getting to the point where I couldn't compete in the sports I loved. I decided to check out Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. It's the best decision I've made. I felt no pressure to have surgery. That was important to me. We had choices. I ultimately did choose to have a procedure.
Good morning.
I
How
was
we
in
doing?
and out in just hours and back in action shortly after. I recommend meeting their doctors. Visit orthowisconsin.com today.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Watch your team compete on big screens in Team McSee's Sports Bar or the Sports Illustrated Sportsbook Room. Yes, you can bet the spread, parlays, futures, and more with Sports Illustrated Sportsbook at Island Resort and Casino. Your place to bet on sports. To book a game time getaway at the Island, call 800-682-6040 today.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Hi everyone, John Miller here from PDS, a Converge company. PDS has been providing technology solutions and transforming IT for area companies for over 30 years. Today, we are helping organizations integrate digital workplace strategies that are giving today's worker the true ability to work from anywhere as they balance work and life both securely and productively. And as HP's largest partner in the area, our combined solutions have never been more important. If you're struggling with this, know we stand ready to help. From ideation to transformation, we can help you evolve your work from anywhere strategy. Learn more at pdsit.net.
Join the Brewers at the all-new Winter Warm-Up Fan Event Saturday, January 13th. See your favorite Brewers players in a fun-filled live show and get early access to purchase opening day tickets. Don't miss out on the fun. Get tickets now at brewers.com/winter warmup.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Everyone's go-to source for all NFL news.
Adam Schefter teased some big breaking news. Adam, you've told us about it. What do we got?
Adam's on the phone.
Yeah, we have some more.
Adam, you got more news? What do you got?
They're going with another move.
And he was the man who knows all, Adam Schefter.
And we're going to get right to some breaking news here that just came down. This tweet from Adam Schefter.
It's ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
The Bears look dead. The Vikings look dead. And so the division comes down to Detroit and Green Bay.
Adam Schefter on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Also sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
I am just thrilled to be able to chat with our friend Adam Schefter on the week that his Michigan squad wins the national title. Adam, I saw a video of you celebrating in the stands as that sucker went official. Have you come down off of the high yet?
Yeah, it was a memorable night for the university, for the team, Jen. What I would say is this: back in college in my senior year of 1989, my college roommates and I lined up at the athletic department on Monday morning. We bought tickets to the Final Four in Seattle. We scalped, if we're allowed to say that, sold some of the tickets to finance the trip. And me and my college buddies flew out for what to this day and always forever will be one of the great weekends of our lives. We talk about it to this day. We love that weekend. We watched Michigan beat Illinois on Saturday and then Seton Hall in overtime on Monday night to win the national championship. It's one of those things you remember so many things about it. And on Monday night, me and my college roommates also were in Houston to watch Michigan win again. So we watched them win in 89. We watched them win in 24. And it brings us together. And I think everyone that was there, it always will hold a special spot for them. And I think also my brother-in-law on Friday night, he said to me, I'm going. I'm like, he was hell-bent on going, even though he's got a lot of work going on. I'm like, boy, you really want to go? He goes, I missed going in 89. And to this day, it's still one of the great regrets of my life. And so that shows you how much it means to people and to stay with people. And I was able to bring my kids on Monday night. They were able to experience it. And that was meaningful to me to watch them be swept up in the emotion and hoopla of that night. It was not an easy physical challenge and ordeal getting there on a day when we're monitoring all NFL coaching changes, but we were able to do it, get it done, and get home without Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots settling their differences in whatever way they do.
Well, speaking of those coaching changes, the shocker coming yesterday that Mike Vrabel let go by the Titans, and we can get into the insanity of, well, it seemed too difficult to trade him, so we just fired him instead. I got a lot of texts from friends yesterday going, ooh, Vrabel would look really good as the Packers defensive coordinator. While I don't disagree, he would look great as defensive coordinator. There's zero chance, right? Because he's the top head coaching candidate out there now.
I don't know if he's the top guy because it just depends on what you're talking about. I think there's a tier of top guys, and he's in the top tier. Like, I think Jim Harbaugh is in that tier. I think Bill Belichick, depending on what happens in New England, could be in that tier. And I think Mike Vrabel is in that tier. You could make an argument that he's the top guy. I wouldn't disagree with you, but it just depends. And Brian Johnson, by the way, Ben Johnson in Detroit, Ben Johnson, I would put in that tier too because that many teams want him. So there are a tier of guys that seem to have more interest from these teams than others, and I believe Vrabel will be in that tier and on that list. But see, he's the top guy. Well, he's right there with the top guys, maybe the top guy.
Adam, I was saying that after watching the Packers punch their ticket to the postseason, given all of the concerns and questions we had about this team about a year ago, I was proud. And maybe that's, the mom in me because it's a young squad and maybe they didn't know what they didn't know and all of those sort of things. Gabe was saying that he was excited about them being in the postseason. What chances do you give the Packers to beat the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday?
Well, here's the problem with that. I like this Packers team. I think I've been pretty clear all year long at the start of the year that I thought that they would be better than people thought. I think I said that very clearly at the start of the year, and they were.
You did.
And that was what I expected. And I think they do have a chance. The problem, what I don't like about the matchup is that Dallas at home is a different team.
Yep.
Dallas at home, it's playing on a fast track. It's indoors. It's a situation where they just don't really lose very much at home. And so that's the challenge and the battle that they're going to face here. Not that it can't be done. It absolutely can. But it's just a tough first-round draw, and that's the way it goes. But you know what? They're in the playoffs. They get it done, and good for them.
Can you recall a team, because I've been racking my brain, and I can't think of one, that is such a different team like the Cowboys at home? Because the road-home splits are outrageous. They average like 21 points on the road, and then it goes up to 38 points per game at home. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Yeah. No, and like if this game were in Green Bay, I would say, yeah, I give the Packers a legitimate chance to win the game. Legitimate chance to win. And by the way, they'll have a chance to win this game too. I don't love the matchup. Like I said, I don't love going to Dallas, where Dallas has been so difficult to beat and a different team at home. But they got a shot. It's one game. You win the turnover battle. Let's see what happens.
Well, and I think that the Dallas Cowboys have their own playoff demons to exercise, don't they, Adam? So, I mean, again, they got to get over that boogeyman.
Yeah, they do. And I think they will have learned from that and grown from that. And I think that this team is playing at a different level right now and will be buoyed by the fact that it was able to win the NFC East. And that's amazing in and of itself. Also, that division has not had a repeat champion in 19 years now, which is the longest streak in NFL history, which means Dallas isn't going to win it again next year in all probability based on past history. But, yeah, they have their own demons, but I think in this case it may serve them well, Jen.
Dallas Cowboys have
you know what the deal is there? I think that it'll motivate them, but I do think that if Green Bay can go up 17-3, 13-3, 10-0. If Green Bay can take a lead and get that crowd and that environment all stressed out and nervous, that to me would be a key thing. If they could get out of the gate strong and plant the seed of doubt in Dallas's mind in the postseason and take a lead and get the fans booing, right? Like that would go a long way towards a Packers victory on Sunday. A quick start with a good lead right away. That would be big.
Cowboys have a 4-10 record, guys. 4-10 record in the playoffs since January 9th, 1999. Shout out to Prince. It's the only time we talk about 1999. But anyway, but 4-10, guys. That's my point. My point is, like, they got to convince themselves that they can actually win in the playoffs as well, right? And to your point, Adam, you plant that seed of doubt. And then they start to wonder, Dak and company, oh, crap, same old, we're going to fall in the playoffs. And then Jerry's going to, be able to say, well, I don't know, things didn't go the way we wanted them to. And then, of course, you got the Mike McCarthy job security question. I mean, that's a big old boulder that would start to gain steam rolling downhill if the Packers, like you said, can plant the seed of doubt early on. Go ahead, Gabe.
Matt LaFleur isn't going to be in the conversation for Coach of the Year. I mean, Kevin Stefanski with what he's done with 4 different quarterbacks and Joe Flacco and all that. DeMeco Ryans getting to double-digit wins and getting a team that had the number 2 overall pick a year ago to winning their division. But should he be in that conversation since this is the youngest team to make the playoffs in NFL history?
Well, absolutely he should be in the conversation, but he absolutely shouldn't win it either. So you could put him in the conversation. I got no issues with it. He's done a great job this year. But the fact of the matter is what Kevin Stefanski and DeMeco Ryans have done is superb. The Texans last year were vying for the number 1 overall pick, and they win their division. The Browns have had 5 different starting quarterbacks this year, and they're going to the playoffs. The Browns are. So what those teams have overcome and done, to me, is most impressive. It doesn't diminish what Matt LaFleur and the Packers have done. They've had a great season. They've performed above expectations other than that blip in the middle of the season that probably cost them the division title. This season could have been even better in the regular season if they had done some things. It just didn't work out that way. Now, a new challenge awaits. It's the postseason. Let's see what they can do. He belongs in the conversation, but he doesn't belong winning the award this year. That's all.
Adam Schefter hanging out with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning. No Chewy this morning, but we are happy to have
Adam.
Adam.
He's safe, by the way. I hope Chewy's safe.
I mean,
well, he's not driving with me, so he's fine.
That's very true.
Do you usually drive to work together?
No, but we were discussing in the first segment of the show what a terrible driver I am and how Chase, my 15-year-old, has now got his driver's permit. And the guy said that I should not be allowed to teach him how to drive. So Chewy should be fine since he's not driving with me.
There you go. Well,
he was like, I am treading lightly.
I don't know what to say about that.
Treading lightly.
Adam, one more thing before we let you go this morning. So we were talking about Jordan Love, and I don't want to have recency bias, and I also don't want to have, I think, more highly of this guy because he's ours bias. But right now, how many quarterbacks in the NFL would you take over Jordan Love?
Let me get on my sheet here, and I'll tell you exactly who I would take.
All right.
That's what I like.
I love when he goes to the sheet.
Josh Allen.
Even with the propensity to throw the ball away. Even with the propensity for the interceptions.
Jen.
Yes, Adam.
Again, let me be very clear. I am a Jordan Love believer and supporter, and I really like Jordan Love. Now, let me, again, start with my list of quarterbacks I would take ahead of Jordan Love. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. Here's going to be an interesting one for you. CJ Stroud. Patrick Mahomes. Justin Herbert. A little controversial. 6. Dak. 7. Jalen Hurts. 8.
I was going to say, I hope you're thinking.
Hold on.
He's going through the list. He's going through
dramatic
the list.
pause.
I'll give you one more controversial one. Brock Purdy. 9. Now, by the way, if we put Jordan Love in the Niners offense, I might take him ahead of Brock Purdy. but this is what it is. You're asking me. I'm giving you my honest answer. So there are about 8 or 9 quarterbacks that I would take ahead of him. He's a top 10 quarterback.
All right, we'll take top 10 distinction. Now, again, I probably have recency bias, and he's our guy, so I like him a little bit more biased. I had him at 6 on my list. So I got 5 guys. I got 5 guys that I would take over Jordan Love right now, and I'm taking into account his talent, his demeanor, the way he develops relationships with the other young guys, and we've seen the opposite of that in the past as well, or at least a variance of that. Don't come at me on social.
With who?
Who in the world could you be talking about?
I mean, who could say?
Who could say? More of a hypothetical, actually, if we're being honest. He who doesn't care what people say about him. That's who, Adam. So I got Mahomes, I got Burrow, I got Lamar. I got question marks next to Hurts and Josh Allen just because of the propensity to turn the ball over. Jordan Love doesn't turn the ball over. He doesn't turn the ball over.
Except for the 11 times he did.
But that's still not as many as it felt like Josh Allen had this season.
Let me say this about Jordan Love, too, okay? I've watched him at times where he has looked like as good a quarterback as any in football, okay? He has looked incredible at times. And then there have been other times where it looked like I might take Blaine Gabbert over him, okay? So if he could somehow eliminate some of that inconsistent play that plagued him in the middle of the year, which it looked like he got past as the year went on. And I'm just saying I'm haunted by this. He was my fantasy quarterback, and there was a Monday night game where I needed 8 points out of him to beat the Raiders.
Oh, and I was about to say, I know what game Adam's talking about. Did he have negative 8 points in that game?
I'm like, this guy is awful. He's awful, right? Like, now, do you ever see Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes play a game like he had a couple of those this year? So what he needs to do, in my mind, is just eliminate those floor games where he just looks incompetent as a quarterback out there. He's looked so good at times. He's looked like, again, one of the great quarterbacks in the league. I put him as a top 10 guy. But to get higher on that list, you can't have those stink bomb games that he had this year.
Well, let me bring it full circle then for you, okay, Adam? And I love it when we can do this. We can tie a nice bow on this. Let's go back to the national championship game that you were at, that I was at. Because I went into that game thinking Michael Penix Jr. is one of the best quarterbacks I saw all season long. And then Michael Penix Jr. got pressure from that Michigan defense, which we knew was going to be tough. And he looked like a totally different guy. Not even the same guy. He was seeing ghosts out there. He was missing open receivers. He was, throwing it into the ground. And all of a sudden I'm going, is Michael Penix Jr. not as good as I thought he was? Or was that an outlier?
Well, it's funny. I was on the phone with a couple of GMs yesterday, and it's going to be interesting to see how that game impacts his draft stock. And I think that most people thought he was a mid to late one, and he still might go there. But it's possible that game could have knocked him into the second round. It's possible. We'll see how the draft process plays out. We'll see how he does in Indy. We'll see how he does in interviews, and we'll see how teams feel about him and the need that they address or don't address early on. But that game certainly didn't help his draft stock, and it's going to raise some questions that you just talked about and documented, and we'll see where teams come in on him later on. I still think he's going to be a high pick. But maybe not quite as high as he would have been before Monday night.
All right, Adam, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Congratulations again to your Michigan Wolverines on an enormous victory. I suppose we'll have to wait for next time to talk about Jim Harbaugh's future, huh?
Oh, you could ask me, Jen. I got all day for you, whatever you need.
Well, do you think he's going to stay or is he going to go?
I think that the time is right for him to leave. I think that he's open to going. I think it's up to an NFL team to make it such that they seal the deal, basically. The opportunity's there. I think he, in a perfect world, like to go. He's done everything that he set out to do at Michigan. He's restored the program. He beat Ohio State. He got the team to the CFP. He won the national championship. He's done everything. Now he's got a lot of his players leaving. He's got the NCAA coming after him. Michigan can try to keep him. And here's what I would say. Jim always is welcome there. And we'd love for him to stay. and he knows that he can. So it's up to the NFL to come at him with an attractive enough opportunity, offer, ownership situation to make him say, this is better than what I have at Michigan. And I think there's a real possibility that's going to happen. We'll see if it does.
He is Adam Schefter, a Michigan man himself. He joins Jen, Gabe, and Chewy each and every Wednesday during the football season. Thanks, Adam. We appreciate you, man.
Talk next Wednesday. Yes, correct. Jen, Gabe, take care and hope Chewy's safe.
See you later, Adam.
He's really concerned about the safety of the big guy.
As long as he stays out of the car with Jen, I'm sure he will.
And that extends to everybody, really. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Have you been to their orthopedic ASAP clinic yet? They have it in Brookfield, Mukwonago, Pewaukee. All physicians are fellowship trained in specialty orthopedics. They are board certified or board eligible and have advanced training in their respective fields. Here's why you should use Ortho ASAP Clinic. Patients walk in and can be seen without an appointment. It is faster, it is easier, it is less expensive to the ER or urgent care. Let me just say that again. Faster, easier, less expensive than the ER or urgent care. So if you find yourself in a situation, maybe you were, driving alongside Jen and find yourself needing Ortho ASAP, I'm telling you that is the spot to go to. There is a difference when you work with Ortho ASAP Clinic. All right, we got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. I want to get Gabe's list. We asked Adam Schefter how many quarterbacks in the league right now he would take over Jordan Love. And he said 9. But that Jordan Love is a top 10 quarterback in the league right now. Let's see where Gabe Neitzel stands on that right after this.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Watch your team compete on big screens in Team McSee's Sports Bar or the Sports Illustrated Sportsbook Room. Yes, you can bet the spread, parlays, futures, and more with Sports Illustrated Sportsbook at Island Resort and Casino. Your place to bet on sports. To book a game time getaway at the Island, call 800-682-6040 today.
TaxAct knows you don't look forward to taxes. TaxAct doesn't even look forward to taxes, and TaxAct is a tax software company. It's basically TaxAct's whole thing. If TaxAct did things over, maybe TaxAct would end up teaching kindergarten or leading fly fishing tours. But that's a different story for a different ad. So why don't we just agree that taxes aren't fun, but you still have to do them? TaxAct's filing software can help you do that. TaxAct. Let's get them over with.
If you're just tuning in, this is Fan 23, Fansville's #1 sports radio station.
Brought to you by Tasty Dr. Pepper.
We are settling the great debate, best third quarter snack, hot dogs or nachos?
You know my mantra, Doug.
Yes.
Meaty early, cheesy late.
Well, it looks like we have a caller here to weigh in. Is this Chuck?
Popcorn in the third is the move.
What?
You go with passive snacking after halftime.
No, it's nachos.
Look, as long as there's an ice cold Dr. Pepper there to wash it down, I'm good with either. Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
There are many reasons to choose document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. Chris McLean, co-owner of DBAT Brookfield, the baseball and softball training facility, had his reasons.
I think the biggest thing, the important things for me are effective communication and timely response.
James Imaging Systems, Kyocera copiers, Kyocera network printers, Kyocera color systems, and the James team that works with you to provide the business technology to help you thrive.
Honestly, Candy had a lot to do with it.
Candy, your James Imaging Systems sales representative.
Candy built great rapport with our general manager right out of the gate. It helps that they're a local business. We're a local business as well.
James Imaging Systems, effective communication and local responsiveness.
They're a partner. James Imaging is a partner, not a vendor.
Kyocera from James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
At Kessler's Diamonds, we know you're too busy to go shopping from store to store, too busy to listen to a bunch of sales pitches, too busy to negotiate. This is Monica Kessler. I'm going to tell you another reason why I like working at Kessler's. Are you ready? At Kessler's, we don't negotiate. We think it's unfriendly and dishonest, so we've never done it. Would you ask your friend to pay a higher price than what you were truly willing to accept? Kessler's is a 100% employee-owned company, and the owners insist that everyone gets the lowest price. Don't believe me? Put it to the test. Go to any of our Kessler's locations and ask to buy something for $1 less than the price on the tag. One of our owners is going to offer to find you something else at that $1 lower price. But the item you want costs $1 more, period. Kessler's is the face of friendship and fairness and integrity. You never have to negotiate at Kessler's. And that's comforting, especially when you're in a hurry.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You want more physical harm beset upon people who are trying to earn a living.
I want winners. If someone has to die in order for us to win, then that's the price you pay.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Each and every week when we have Adam Schefter join us, it is brought to you in part by our friends at the Island Resort and Casino, so you should be planning your winter getaway. Schedule a relaxing session at the Drift Spa. You can enjoy gaming, casual and fine dining, and great live entertainment. To book your winter getaway, visit islandresortsandcasino.com today.
If you missed any of Adam Schefter's appearance here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, of course, you can find it on Wisconsin On Demand, wherever you get your podcasts. So we asked Adam about the quarterbacks that he would take right now over Jordan Love, trying to avoid recency bias, trying to also avoid, well, he's ours, so we like him a little bit better than everybody else bias. Gabe, do you want to give your list now, or should we hold on to it? You want to tease it?
Oh, let's
is
tease
yours
it.
Is yours more close to Adam Schefter's list or my list?
Probably a little bit closer to yours. Spoiler alert, I don't have Brock Purdy ahead of Jordan Love.
What the hell was that?
Well, I get it. Like, Brock Purdy was in the MVP conversation for a long time.
But wasn't he only in the MVP conversation because he has so much talent around him?
He does, and that becomes an unfair narrative around him because the dude spins it really well.
He's better than he gets credit for.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's better than Jordan.
How could he be better? No. I was going to say, how could he be better than he gets credit for when he was in the MVP conversation?
So he's not a league MVP, but he's also not a game manager.
Yeah.
He falls in between there.
People like to say Brock Purdy really is just a product of his surroundings, which the guy can. I mean, Jimmy G wasn't as good as him at any point.
Sure,
the team might have had similar success, but the guy's good. It's just, is he great?
But we have talked this season in the NFL about how many quarterbacks took snaps, how many quarterbacks were out there making plays. Like, does anybody think that Gardner Minshew is the next great thing? No, but he also won a hell of a lot of games for the Colts this year. Mm-hmm. It's just interesting how it's really hard to identify who's really, really good and who is just kind of a product of circumstance.
Like Joe Flacco.
Who's probably going to be the comeback player of the year in the NFL.
Really?
Who would you give it to?
DeMar Hamlin.
Okay, but he barely played.
I don't care.
He also died.
He also died on the field.
But that I would give him the comeback person of the year.
When you die on the field, you come back and play.
Joe Flacco's...
It's a great story. Joe's doing some great stuff.
And I don't want to take anything away from DeMar's story either.
He's a journeyman who caught lightning in a bottle. DeMar Hamlin died.
That counts as a comeback. Yeah. Are we going to do this? We're really going to do this? We're going to fight about DeMar Hamlin or Joe Flacco?
I can count. There are countless number of veterans who've caught lightning in a bottle. The number of people who've died and come back, I can do that on one hand.
Jon Snow.
He doesn't even get that reference. He's never seen it.
I think he understands at least that much.
Game of Thrones.
Well, yeah, when I said you'd never seen it. All right, well, listen, after this, Gabe is going to give us his list. What quarterbacks right now, with how well Jordan Love is playing, with how high his ceiling can be, would you take over the quarterback in Green Bay? We'll get to that right after this.
Full show podcasts, interviews, and special content is available right now at WisconsinOnDemand.com. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on 94.5 ESPN.
We do have an accident on 794 westbound around Lincoln Memorial Drive. Looks like possibly the left lane is blocked with this. It's a raised roadway. We might have some icing conditions around that area. Something to keep in mind. Eastbound 94 slowing down from before 84th Street all the way through the stadium to about 27th. Westbound slowing from about 20th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. And westbound 894 going to be slow right out of the Mitchell Interchange all the way to about 60th. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Mostly cloudy, breezy early with a high of 34. Tonight, snow showers about 1 to 2 inches possible with a low of 28. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, a group of doctors I trusted with my knee surgery. The pain was real and options were important. My experience with each doctor was thorough, the appointments were timely, always close and easy access to the building. My mom felt the same way, I know, when she went there for her physical therapy appointments at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. I trusted their surgical team for my knee surgery, and I know they'll take care of you the way they did my mom and me. Make an appointment at orthowisconsin.com.
Q Club of Wisconsin is your hangout spot for watching sports, playing games, and having some drinks. Mike, what do you have going on over there?
Gary, we have so much going on. We're still the place to be on game days to catch the green and gold. Book a holiday party in our VIP room, which includes a private pool table, 2 shuffleboard tables, and 4 dartboards. Plus, we got great live music every Saturday night. And of course, we've got our fish fry on Wednesdays and Fridays, where you know we pile it high.
All happening at the Q Club of Wisconsin, North Grandview Boulevard in Waukesha. Check out qclubofwisconsin.com.
You're listening to the home of the Green Bay Playoff Plunge. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
So at 7:55, where I should have been in bed, she calls and said the tire's completely flat.
Oh, no.
Every decision I've ever made in my entire life has been wrong.
So I had to go pick her up.
Yeah.
I got to deal with that today. And then the garage door broke.
My life is the complete opposite of everything I want it to be.
Yeah.
So the garage door doesn't work. With a snowstorm coming.
Yeah, that's not great.
Every instinct I have in every aspect of life, be it something to wear, something to eat, it's up and wrong.
It's not Murphy Law.
Yeah.
It's Murphy's Law, okay?
It's the
All
rule
right.
of
It's
3.
Kelly's Law, okay? Murphy, Kelly.
Murphy.
Schmidt.
Yes. I will do the opposite. I used to sit here and do nothing and regret it for the rest of the day. So now I will do the opposite and I will do something.
No, it's not up to 3.
Well, that's my
That's the rule of 3, yes.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight.
I know I mentioned this to you guys briefly last week. I assume on the one day that I was here. I don't even remember how often I was here, but it wasn't a lot. Good news, that changes now. Stuck with me every day.
Well, we're so lucky. Yay! Welcome back, Jen.
So happy you're here. But when I was in LA for the Rose Bowl, had an afternoon to kill. And I told you guys that I took Chase to see The Boys in the Boat, which is that movie based on the true story of the Washington crew team that ends up, spoiler alert, it is history after all, winning Olympic gold. And
don't need to go see that now. Thank you.
No, you still should. It's fantastic. Clooney did such a good job with it. It was just incredible. But they were, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, they were the junior crew team. They were not the varsity crew team at Washington. They were the JV squad. So they were this young upstart squad. A lot of them were poor. Being on the crew team is, how they got their lodging, how they got their meals paid for, their ability to pay tuition. The main character at the very beginning of the movie is told that if he doesn't settle up his tuition debt, he will have to leave the school, right? So the crew team ends up being his way of staying at school and obviously having a warm place to sleep and a warm meal to eat. And I feel a little similarly, guys, about this Green Bay Packers team, guys. I feel like you're young, you don't know what you don't know. You're going to go into this environment against a team in the Dallas Cowboys who have had their own struggles in the postseason, who have all the pressure in the world on them. You got Jerry up there sitting in his box, staring down at you with his death eyes. And I don't mean because he's close to death. I just mean like when he's staring down, it does feel like if you're caught in the
glad you definitely clarified what you meant. And you were trying to kill Jerry
almost
Jones.
Dead. It's that when he stares at you, you feel like you want to die. And I just feel like this could be one of those stories. This young Packers team that has clearly shown flashes of brilliance, that has clearly shown that as the season has gone on, their chemistry has grown, their talent has grown. They could be the squad that surprises everybody this year. And so it wouldn't shock me if they went in to Arlington, Texas and left with a victory. And a lot of that is on Jordan Love. A lot of that is the evolution that he has had as the season has gone on. We gave credit to Tom Clements earlier in the show for taking him under his wing, for being able to improve those accuracy issues that we were so worried about at the beginning of the season. The happy feet in the pocket, being able to 1-2 throw the ball instead of sitting there waiting and then obviously having a busted play. So there's a lot of optimism for me surrounding this Packers team headed into that game against the Cowboys, Gabe.
They need to be pretty perfect, though, in order for it to happen. Because, I mean, as exciting as this past Sunday was, they did only score 17 points because they made mistakes. Not getting a field goal, or at least attempting a field goal at the end of the first half. The missed field goal from Anders Carlson. Like, they need to be, there were too many mistakes. The fumble by Jordan Love. Like, can't be bringing that ball up above your shoulder as you try to swim around a defender. You got to be able to protect the football in that situation, because while the Bears did not take advantage of a lot of those, the Cowboys are a good enough team that they will. And this is, offensively, they're going to have to, it feels like to me, play a pretty perfect game and avoid some of those similar mistakes that they've made that have prevented them from scoring. Because their offensive output that they had, when you look at the yards, and as good as Jordan Love was, as good as Aaron Jones was, that was enough offensive output to put up 30 points. And they only scored 17. So there are some little things that you got to clean up, especially in the playoffs when you've never been on that stage before. It's going to be tough to play that perfect game.
Yeah, the margin for error obviously shrinks. No question about that. But people talk about how good the Dallas Cowboys have been at home. You gave the numbers earlier, the discrepancy between their points on the road and their points at home. Jordan Love, guys, this season has been really good indoors. He has. Now, again, you can make the argument, well, what good does that do us? The Packers play at Lambeau Field, which is famously outdoors. No, but in this playoff run, if they're able to make a run, they're the road team. They'll be on the road for the entire thing. Mm-hmm. So being able to go to Jerry's World and play indoors, I feel like, based on the numbers, could be a really good thing for Jordan Love. The only place where he struggled was the place that we were talking about with Adam Schefter, because he had Jordan as his fantasy quarterback that week when they played in Las Vegas. Did not have a good game indoors at Las Vegas. But everywhere else, are you looking at the game log?
Yeah, I'm looking at the game.
So what's popping for you as far as the games indoors that Jordan Love played this year?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously the Minnesota game would be the most recent one. Minnesota and Detroit were the last two. They haven't played a ton of indoor games. They've only played the 4. I mean, the Atlanta numbers are okay. I mean, he's got the 3 touchdowns, but only 14 completions, 6 yards per attempt. Like, it wasn't that great of a game. And then Las Vegas was far and away his worst game. Right? Not even close. Like, that was... I know the moment that Schefter knew his fantasy game was over that day was when Jordan Love threw his worst interception of the year. Just don't know how he didn't see the linebacker standing between and whoever he was trying to throw the ball
And I know this is a little apples to oranges, but even if it was his worst game of the season, they only lost that game by 4 points. That was a winnable game. Even as bad as he played, it was a winnable game. Now, I'm not saying that necessarily affects the possibility of them winning against Dallas. My point is maybe Jordan Love is a guy like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was famously fantastic indoors. His numbers were because, again, of the controlled climate and whatnot. And so I just think that if you need things to go your way, which the Packers obviously do, they need some breaks. Being indoors is going to be a huge break for Jordan Love. You think I'm putting too much into that, Joshy?
Only because the Dallas Cowboys are so good at their own home, which is indoors, and that their team is specifically made to kind of excel in the indoor environment, the way they play with CeeDee Lamb, all those wide receivers. Brandon Cooks is very fast, somehow still in the NFL and still making productive things. But I think if you wanted to talk about it, the best way for Jordan to show his arm talent is indoors, because he makes so many of those off-platform throws. There's no elements that are going to be affecting him that would kind of cause some, because we've seen some erratic passes that you're not sure, did that come out of his hand funny, or was that affected by the weather? I'm thinking of like deep passes down the sideline where they just kind of float for super long. That doesn't really happen indoors.
Yeah, like the one he almost threw the interception on Sunday.
Yeah.
Where that definitely came out of his hand weird, because it was kind of a duck.
Yeah, that slow-mo was not kind to him. I didn't like that.
That's not a spiral. Did he kick that? How does he do that?
And so I think what I keep going back to, guys, is the amount of pressure that is on each of these respective franchises, each of these respective teams right now in this game. And has Dallas done enough to prove to themselves that they can withstand the pressure of needing to win this game. Right? Most playoff games, this is what's crazy about the situation the Packers find themselves in. Most playoff games are must win. It's not a must win for the Packers. We would like for them to win. It'd be a hell of a story if they could win, but you're not in a must win situation because, again, what we had talked about is the expectations for this season, which was figure out if Jordan Love is your guy. He is clearly your guy. You've already won. You've already won the war. Right? The each week was the battle, and you have won the war. But the Dallas Cowboys are under all of the pressure. So you talk about the pressure to be the team. They know the record. What did we say? It was 4-10 in the postseason since 1999. They know about the boogeyman, that they have that record. To me, they know about Mike McCarthy's job may be on the line because you got somebody as... what's the word?
Volatile?
That's a great word. That's not the word, but that's a great word. Volatile as Jerry Jones pulling the strings there or pulling the lever. I don't know. It just feels like the pressure in this game might be the difference maker. In addition to the Packers, as you said, playing a really good game.
Is that, though, just us trying to talk ourselves into... I agree. The pressure is on the Cowboys, but at the same time, is that us trying to talk ourselves into, oh, yes, this could happen?
Well, wait, you guys put a poll up yesterday asking about 30 or 3, right? Joshy, what was the poll yesterday you guys put up about 30 or 3?
If the Packers were to lose on Sunday, would you rather lose by 30 points or by 3 points?
How did that poll turn out?
Overwhelmingly, people wanted to lose by only 3 points.
And you were saying that the argument for losing by 30 points would be that Joe Barry stunk it up again. Matt LaFleur would have no choice but to part ways with him, and then you get new blood and a new defensive coordinator in there. Doesn't seem like a lot of people are interested in that anymore.
Yeah. I do think it also means sort of, unless they score 60, the Cowboys, it kind of means the offense doesn't look all that good, and I don't think any of us want to see that at this point.
Cowboys scoring 60 at home, certainly on the board, though.
You can't rule it out at this point. But to Gabe's point about are we kind of like wish casting and making things up in our head, if we were to pick a team that is a top 4 team that is going to do the classic... You have high expectations and you underwhelm. It's the Cowboys.
For sure.
You've got
I feel
Mike
the same
McCarthy,
way.
You got Dak Prescott.
Mike McCarthy, who has traditionally and consistently mismanaged games.
Right.
And the clock. I mean, again, I love Mike McCarthy. I want to be very clear. He was wonderful covering him during the playoff run in the seasons leading up to that in the Super Bowl, rather. But he has his own warts. He has his own issues that have been well documented.
The game last year? Remember when Zeke was snapping a football? Remember that stuff?
Yes. As soon as you said Zeke, it was like I had a very
That's why Kellen Moore got fired.
I had a very vivid image of poor Zeke there getting absolutely trucked.
So while it's not likely the Packers win, if you were to build a narrative in your head today about which team or which top 4 team loses and kind of just stubs their toe everywhere all over the field, it's Dak Prescott, it's Mike McCarthy, and it's the Dallas Cowboys.
I was bummed when the Rams ended up clinching, because if the Rams would have lost and the Packers would be playing the Lions, I'd feel a lot better about playing the Lions this week.
I think so, yes.
I'd feel a lot better chance about going into Detroit and winning, because you did it not that long ago.
Yeah.
That's a team that's got some issues as well, and Jared Goff isn't as good as Dak.
No.
And Jared Goff certainly has his own warts. Detroit's a team that hasn't been there in forever. I would much rather play Detroit than Dallas.
I've also seen Dak this season have Jared Goff games, though. As much as Dak has been incredible.
Not at home.
That's true. But he's still Dak. And until he does it, he's going to have that on him. And maybe this is his year. But until then, I can keep that little glimmer of hope, Gabe.
No, I'm saying that is the hope, but I don't want that to become the overwhelmingly, Packers are winning because they got all the pressure on
I wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying, guys, is usually you go into a game, and again, being very conscious of biases, right? I'm very conscious of the idea of I would love to see the Packers win this game and continue their playoff run. But there is a part of me that can convince myself that the Packers will win this game. And I have done that at various times during the season. There have been times when I've been blatantly wrong. But there have been other times when I'm like, I don't know, guys. There's something about this matchup. And I think that's what it comes down to, Josh, to your point. If there's a team that can bleep it all up in remarkable fashion, it is the Dallas Cowboys.
But this is the conversation we have every year. If you think your team's going to win because the other team is bad, Not because we can do these things. If you're banking on it's the conversation we have with the Badgers every year. Now, I mean, we won't now because the divisions are going away in college football. But they're going to win the Big Ten West. Why? Oh, because everybody else is bad. Well, no, you actually have to be good in order to beat those teams. And look at that narrative and how it failed the Badgers once again this year in football. Like, okay, I understand all those things. That yes, a lot of pressure is on the Cowboys. But what are the Packers going to do to take advantage of that other than, the Cowboys, they're going to screw up, so clearly the Packers are going to win. No, especially in the playoffs, you got to go out there and you got to get it. You have to take advantage of those things. Like those things I was talking about with the Packers kind of screwing up against the Bears. Bears weren't good enough to take advantage of those opportunities because the Bears were certainly in that game, just not good enough to take advantage of the opportunities the Packers presented them. The Cowboys are. CeeDee Lamb, I'm puckering a little bit just thinking about CeeDee Lamb against Joe Barry and the Packers defense.
Sure, but then think about all of the weapons that the Packers have offensively. Think about what Jordan Love has been. Sure, but they do have talent, and they do have guys who have made big plays. Yeah. And what I said to you guys this morning when we were chatting about this is there's a part of me that this season exclusively, I'm not saying that this is a winnable situation going forward, but this season exclusively, I kind of love that they've got the depth at those skill positions as opposed to having one guy who is your, in case of emergency, break glass a la Devontae Adams, that they can spread the ball around. That at any given moment, you got a guy like Bo Melton, you got a guy like Devontae Wicks, you got a guy like Jaden Reed, you got a guy if Christian Watson could get his booty on the field. It'd be great if he could make some plays as well. That to me is an advantage that we are probably overlooking or not emphasizing enough when it comes to what this Packers offense can do.
Yeah, you end up throwing to the open guy. But the Cowboys are more than CD. Like Jake Ferguson.
I'm familiar with him.
Did you know that he's buried?
Shut up!
But Jake Ferguson's had a good year. Like he's been good. Josh, you brought up Brandon Cooks. Like Brandon Cooks has become a red zone target for the Cowboys. Yeah, it's weird because he's short. I don't get it.
He's been on like 8 teams and he's like 28 years old still. It's unbelievable. It feels like he's been around for a
So they have more weapons outside of CD as well. Where if the Packers decide to throw all this attention at CeeDee Lamb, like there are other people that they can use. Now, the one thing that the Packers do have going for them, the matchup that I like, is the Cowboys. It just seems like this type of defense follows Mike McCarthy around. Uh-huh. The Cowboys are built to be out in front. And with Aaron Jones healthy, and with the Packers running the ball the way they have, that's the one thing teams have been able to do, is run the ball against the Dallas Cowboys. And again, like Schefter said, if the Packers can jump out in front and be able to control things and be able to use Aaron Jones the way they want Aaron Jones, that's the recipe for success.
Lots of reaction rolling in on our ESPN Milwaukee talk and text line. Packers win 34-30, says Chris W. Jordan Love legacy game, poor Big Mac. I hope Jordan Love doesn't have any issues with the curvature of the field. Brett Favre's famous excuse at Dallas, that from Adam. I'm not familiar with that. Favre said there was a curvature of the field.
Wasn't that back when it was basically
old
carpet on cement?
Yeah, that was old Cowboy Stadium.
Yeah.
Teddy from Watertown weighing in saying, Lions-Cowboys just played a toss-up game in Dallas. This is absolutely winnable. I could see this game being Jordan's shootout in the desert. I think we match up well against their defense, but then again, we have Joe Barry on the other side. That from Nick in the 608.
Has Jordan won a shootout?
How many
Carolina
shootouts have there even been?
I don't know. That feels like they just kind of climbed back.
Yeah, that's what it felt like to me. But they tied it up and he had to have the drive at the end.
I have a hard time predicting Jordan Love is going back and forth with Dak Prescott and keeping up with the weapons around him as he has them. Because they're a young team. He's a first-year quarterback. If I'm going to count on somebody to score every time, I'd pick the Cowboys before I picked the Packers.
But it's like anything else, and I keep going back to the national championship game because it is the most recent game in my memory bank, right? But that game was a one-possession game for almost the entire thing, and it felt like Michigan was in control, right? It felt like it, but you get a break here or there, you get a pick here or there, you run it back, and all of a sudden you got a tie game if you're Washington, and that's why it kept people's interest, right?
Or if he hits Odunze.
Rome Odunze, who put his hand up and then flipped his hips, and I was like, where are we going? What is happening right now? I mean, again, Washington went into that game, guys, having, I think, the most explosive plays in college football. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they had one.
Yeah.
One explosive play against Michigan because that defense just absolutely suffocated them.
The key player, the biggest key player, I think, for the Green Bay Packers, it's not Jordan Love. It's not Aaron Jones. It's Jair. If you get good Jair, you're going to have a really good chance at winning this game.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
My hands weren't on the board at all.
Is that? Are we
We'll
late?
go to break. We're just going to break. Jeez Louise.
I need a second here.
God.
I gotta get things reorganized.
Man,
I'm
gave
looking
a
at
fire tank.
I know. I'm
ready
looking
to
at
go.
you. I'm thinking, don't talk, Jen. Let him say his thing, Jen. Don't ruin the drop, Jen. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I got it covered. I can screw it up.
Take a break.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We do have an accident on 794 westbound, the Lincoln Memorial Drive on-ramp. Looks like it might be in traffic as well, so just heads up with that. We did have an earlier accident at St. Paul Avenue on westbound 94, the right lane block. That has just been cleared out of the way, so things are moving along a little bit better there. Eastbound's backing up from 84th Street to about 25th, and then on southbound 43, riding the brakes from Bender Road all the way down past Capitol Drive. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net. That's NEAL group.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly cloudy and breezy early with a high of 34. Tonight, snow showers about 1 to 2 inches possible with a low of 28. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Weather is brought to you by Good Health Saunas. Get your in-home infrared sauna today. Great for post-workout detoxing, skin rejuvenation, back relief, and flexibility. Plus, more energy from better sleep. GoodHealthSaunas.com.
Kyle, Brust, and Northman, weekdays from 2 to 5.
Never, ever, ever getting back together. You go talk. Oh, that's.
Oh, you were off.
You were off. I'm off. I was off.
Presented by Bud Light and sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Getting back together. There we go.
We're just as good as her.
We really are.
Kyle, Brust, and Northman, right here on 94.5 ESPN. And subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts.
At Progressive, we love sports and saving you money, so we bundled them together.
Top of the 7th looks like a pitching change as they've set up for a corner kick. The two black belts have entered the mat, and the slider is low and away. He heads the ball to midfield. This is quite a kumite. Here comes the roundhouse. Has it got enough gas to get out of here? Unbelievable! They've bundled their home and auto insurance with Progressive. Kick savings pitch karate.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There are many reasons to choose document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. Chris McLean, co-owner of DBAT Brookfield, the baseball and softball training facility, had his reasons.
I think the biggest thing, the important things for me are effective communication and timely response.
James Imaging Systems, Kyocera copiers, Kyocera network printers, Kyocera color systems, and the James team that works with you to provide the business technology to help you thrive.
Honestly, Candy had a lot to do with it.
Candy, your James Imaging Systems sales representative.
Candy built great rapport with our general manager right out of the gate. It helps that they're a local business. We're a local business as well.
James Imaging Systems, effective communication and local responsiveness.
They're a partner. James Imaging is a partner, not a vendor. Kyocera from James Imaging Systems.
Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
True Chicago-style pizza is thin, crispy, and cut into squares. And thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy a true slice of the city. You'll enjoy it so much you won't even mind where it comes from. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are made from the same cornmeal crust Connie's has been serving for over 60 years. They're perfectly cheesy, perfectly saucy, and they're exactly what you crave. Get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born in Chicago, loved by cheeseheads. Available in a freezer aisle near you.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I thought
Salvation
every time
Army.
that they hear their name when it's non-scheduled, that's what they want to hear.
I could hear Ashley laughing in the background.
Am I right or wrong?
He's not wrong. Hey, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
He is wrong.
On 94.5 ESPN.
It started with a whisper, and now it's when I kissed her, and then she made my lips hurt. I can hear the chit-chat.
Continuing here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Gabe, you had such a great point that you were making in the last segment of the show. I do want to revisit it at some point. There it is.
On 94.5 ESPN.
You got a boogeyman back there or what?
That one was on purpose. I don't know what happened last segment.
Boogeyman.
My hands weren't on the board.
I thought you were
Boogeyman.
giving us a not so subtle hint that we were running a little late and needed to get to break.
I'm not a nerd like Ashton. You guys can do what you want.
Well, we were told that we could. We were told that the clock doesn't mean anything. We were told we can go as long as we
I
want.
don't know if that was quite.
Did you
what I
guys
said.
know?
That's not what was said.
Did you guys know? That's what I heard. Did you guys know? Did you guys know that Pat McAfee's show, by the way, has no commercials?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Did Pat tell you about this when you guys were hanging out?
I don't know if you're familiar, but Pat McAfee was quite the talking point at the old.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if there was 9 of us, I think we could talk for 3 hours nonstop.
For sure. That's true. That's awesome. Cast of characters. All right, let me get to Gabe's list. We were talking earlier about what quarterbacks in the NFL right now you would take over Jordan Love. This is crazy to me because there were moments that we talked about back in October where this team was like a dumpster fire. It was hot garbage. And we were like, okay, it's not working out. Like, this is not going to work out. And like you said, we were like, hey, what does Sean Clifford have? Well, let's see what he's got, right? Meanwhile, now we're talking about Jordan Love as one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But where does he fall as far as the best quarterbacks in the league go? We talked to Adam Schefter about it earlier. He put Jordan Love right now as the number 10 quarterback in the league, rattling off his list that included Mahomes and Burrow, Lamar, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud. Who did I miss there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He had a few more.
Yeah.
Oh, he said Brock Purdy.
Yeah, he had Brock Purdy on his list, Justin Herbert. Yeah.
Did he have Jalen Hurts on his list?
He did have Jalen Hurts.
So then that probably is it. Maybe that's 8. But
And he had
anyway.
Dak.
He had Dak. So that's it. That's the 10 then. That's the 10 guys that he would put right now above Jordan Love. I said I got him a lot higher on the list. I've got Jordan Love right now at 5 or 6, depending on the day, I suppose. Gabe, where are you at right now? What quarterbacks would you take right now, trying to avoid recency bias, trying to avoid he's our guy bias, over Jordan Love?
Josh Allen's definitely on my list. And the reason why I would put Josh Allen there is because he's consistently done it for 4 years. Yeah, he turned the ball over a lot this year, but be able to do what he's done over the last and then add in the rushing totals that he's had, like that's really impressive. Lamar clearly is about to become two-time MVP. Joe Burrow. I would put CJ Stroud on my list because everything that you think Jordan Love has done this year, the big plays, the lack of turnovers, he's done more of that. He only had 5 picks this year.
That's crazy.
5 interceptions.
As a rookie quarterback. As a rookie quarterback. I mean, again, what's crazy about it is they always talk about the leap from college football, especially at the quarterback position, to the NFL being a gulf. And somehow he managed to shrink it. It's like a puddle.
With a skill group that is probably less than the Packers at this point.
Yeah, probably.
Less talented?
Yeah.
I mean,
Nico Collins and Tank Dell are both very good, but aside from that,
if I was drafting all the skills between those two teams, Tank and Nico are 1-2, and then you fill in for the rest.
Right, it's like 5 Packers.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Packers before you get to another Texan. I would also put Justin Herbert on that list. I mean, again, looking what he did at Lambeau Field and just the lack of Quentin Johnston, man, just the way they dropped the ball. I mean, I would have him on my list. I would have Jalen Hurts on my list. And Dak's just so up and down.
Yeah.
I've got Dak and Jordan kind of on that same level. I'd probably be debating for those guys over 7.
Let me ask you a question. What is the most important thing for you? Is it completion percentage? Is it touchdown interception ratio? What is the most important thing? And I know it's a combination of all of these things. Mm-hmm. But if you had to prioritize one of them, what would it be?
I think for me, for Jordan, the thing that I like the most is the way that no matter what, if he has the ball you know he's going to give you a really good chance at the end. Because I think of the bad games he's played this year, the Giants. I think of how terrible he played for 3 quarters against the Saints.
And
got the win against the Saints, got the score that he needed against the Giants before the defense gave it right back. But I think that resiliency and for me, I would go resiliency and the wow throws for him. Because again, we went from okay, can he complete the basic ones to just making some of the best throws in the league on a weekly basis? Those are the 2 things I prioritize.
Okay, so explain to me then, we've done this list. Right now, if you look at the NFL.com stats for the quarterback position, Tua Tagovailoa is atop of it with passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
But he has 14 interceptions as well, right? Josh Allen has 18 interceptions. Nobody's putting Tua on their list. You didn't have Tua on your list. Adam Schefter didn't have Tua on his list. I didn't have Tua on the list. So for some reason, there's something about Tua's game that doesn't translate, that doesn't make us think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, even though right now he leads the league in passing yards.
Racks up good stats against bad teams.
Then Jared Goff is next on the list as far as pass. What's the knock on him?
Too inconsistent. Like there are games, well, for me, there are 2 things. He's too inconsistent, and then when he goes outdoors, he wears gloves. No quarterback who wears gloves is going to have success outside of Kurt Warner. That's just a fact.
I'm going to have to just believe you on that one because I don't have any evidence to the contrary.
Seriously, when you watch the game, if there's a quarterback wearing a glove this weekend, it's probably going to be a bad quarterback and you're going to laugh at him.
Dak Prescott is next on that list. And again, we're just going with passing yards right now because that's the way they have it structured. I could switch to any other statistic if you want me to. Tough thing is about the quarterback rating and the tough thing is about the completion percentage. You got a bunch of guys who are non-qualifiers, right? Who are non-starters, who have just done spot duty, etc. So Dak Prescott. I don't have Dak on my list. Now, Adam Schefter did have Dak on his list, but I agree the inconsistency there. And there's something about Dak that I don't think he can get the job done. Like that's just a narrative that surrounds him. And maybe that's unfair, but that's just when I think of Dak Prescott, there's a part of me that says incomplete.
Sure, and I mean, do we know that Jordan can get the job done in the playoffs? We don't because he hasn't done it.
We also don't know that he can't.
Correct.
Right.
We don't. It's just we clearly don't know. Yeah, we don't know.
Dak is being saddled with his past, which is sort of what I'm making my indictment based on.
Yeah.
Whereas Jordan, we just don't have the information.
It's a really hard thing to put into any real terms to measure, but what you're looking for is a quarterback that puts the team on their back type deal or rises above what's happening around them and kind of elevates everything around them. I think in the past 8 games, we saw Jordan Love play that way. Now, can he do that for a sustained season? We don't know. And that's why even names like Dak or Justin Herbert, where I put them ahead of Jordan Love at the current moment. But if next season Jordan Love continues, and I mean, he's not going to go 18 touchdowns, 1 interception for the rest of his career.
Like he has on this stretch, you're saying.
But like elevating the people around you is a real thing. And so far, Dak Prescott and Justin Herbert have failed to do that. Now, there's plenty of reasons you can explain away, but there's reasons to think maybe this guy, Jordan Love, is different than some of those guys that you would put near the top.
And that's why when we were establishing some of the things that we look at for the list, I was saying talent, absolutely. Number 1 with a bullet. You're not going to get me to say that that's not the most important thing. But then it's your demeanor, right? And you mentioned resiliency. And then it's the relationships. I mean, we briefly touched on a few weeks ago how Jordan was getting guys together, what was it, on Mondays after games to watch film, right? Those type of things. And maybe, again, it is to be and to do the opposite of what the predecessor had done because he recognized maybe that wasn't working. So you go the other way to see if that will work and the results are there. So I think all of those things factor in when you're looking at Jordan Love and why you would pick him as your guy right now. Now, you do worry about a sophomore slump. That's another real thing that exists in the NFL. You worry about a guy regressing after having a standout season, and we could argue the second half of the season has been standout. But let me continue down this list. Then it's Josh Allen. And again, I really, really like Josh Allen. I have never, ever questioned his arm strength. I have never questioned his ability. But there is something there as well of, hey, how many times have we called this kid a gunslinger? How many times have we talked about his propensity to turn the ball over? It's just a real thing.
But he also has something that Jordan doesn't. He's more athletic and uses his legs. And when, I don't know if you watched that game on Sunday night, because, I mean, you had a bunch of things going on down in Houston. But when it's 3rd and 13 and he just tucks it and runs through a tackle to pick up a key first down that essentially clinches the game, like that's something Jordan can't do because he's not. Josh Allen is a tank of a human being, And it's just a physical thing that he has that Jordan Love doesn't. That's not to say Jordan can't be better and doesn't have other things that can overcome that. But right now, that's a real thing. And that's a big part of Josh Allen's game as well that has to be factored in, much like when we talk about Lamar. Lamar being the fastest player on the field at all times is something that factors into him being the quarterback that he is.
And I don't think anybody is questioning whether or not to have Jamar just took Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and smooshed them together. That'd be a hell of a quarterback, by the way. You got the size of Josh Allen. You got the speed of Lamar Jackson.
Making Josh Allen faster seems illegal.
That doesn't... You can't.
Mahomes and Burrow and Lamar and... See, for me, those are the only absolute definites, no questions asked. They're a top Jordan Love right now.
They're the elite of the elite, where every single year you're going, I don't really care what happens around them, because, I mean, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs haven't looked good. If they end up in a Super Bowl,
no one's shocked.
No one thinks twice. They don't. You're like, that's who he is, and that's what he does to a team.
If they win this weekend, they're going to play their first road game with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback.
Correct.
That's insane.
Wait, what'd you say?
If they win this weekend, well, I guess the Bills would also have to win because then they could. Patrick Mahomes has never played a road playoff game.
I didn't know that.
Everything's been on the road, or excuse me, everything's been at home except for the Super Bowls, which have been neutral sites.
It's a hell of a stat.
Yeah, for 5 years.
The shine has worn off of Jalen Hurts. Again, still a really talented guy, taking nothing away from him, but he was in the MVP conversation as well, and he's no longer being considered for that.
That's, again, he also has, I think he's got a couple of years ahead, under his belt. Like Jordan, again, Jalen Hurts, you're looking at him, go, Jalen Hurts isn't good anymore. Could happen to Jordan Love next year. That's the fear, right? Like, I don't think it's going to happen, and I think Jalen Hurts is still really good. But that's the reason why the guys you put at the top of the list are there is because they've done it consistently year over year.
Yeah. That was Aaron Rodgers. We experienced it for so long.
Yeah. That's the hard part.
There's some
doing
stinky
it year
teams.
over year.
Some stinky teams he took into the playoffs.
Took to the NFC Championship game.
That's true.
Remember when we had to watch an NFC Championship game with Ladarius Gunter trying to defend Julio Jones?
I don't remember that.
Woof.
What year would that have been?
That would have been 2016.
Okay. We got to take a break on this. I do think it's fascinating now how we have shifted to a place where we are talking about Jordan Love as a top 10 quarterback. It's exciting. I said I was proud. What emotion were you feeling when the Packers punched their ticket to the playoffs this past Sunday? Let us know. 800-990-3776. You guys remember hearing me talk about being at the State Fair last summer, right? And seeing a sauna. We've all had those moments where we walk through an expo center and think, ooh, I'd like to have that. Let me tell you, having an infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas is so nice. It feels great after my workouts. I can feel the extra energy and the flexibility that I have gained from using my sauna. Plus, my skin looks better. And with the amount that I travel, its detoxification benefits are absolutely worth it alone. I'll tell you guys what, I got home yesterday. I only had 3 hours of sleep. I sat in my Good Health sauna for an hour. And I got out and I felt so much better. Got all of those toxins from travel and the long week and the stress of the season out of my body. I sleep better and overall feel better thanks to my Good Health sauna. If you're interested in feeling better, looking better, and doing it through a Good Health sauna, you can get more information on their website. It's goodhealthsaunas.com. Goodhealthsaunas.com to find the infrared sauna that will improve your life like it has mine.
Full show podcasts, interviews, and special content is available right now at WisconsinOnDemand.com. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on 94.5 ESPN.
Things are going to be a bit slow eastbound 94 from 84th Street all the way through the Stadium Interchange to about 25th, so be careful with that. Southbound 43 also going to be backed up from Bender Road all the way down to about Locust. Northbound's backed up from North Avenue to Keefe, and we still have that accident on Lincoln Memorial Drive on-ramp. Looks like the right lane is blocked right now as they've got a tow truck out there hooking up the car that was involved. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, mostly cloudy and breezy early with a high of 34. Tonight, snow showers about 1 to 2 inches, a low of 28. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel. I've spent a while telling you about Mentality because it works. Not just for me, though. Take it from fellow Mentality user Jason. He's got a new lease on life thanks to Mentality.
Process was easy. It really, truly was. And the individuals that work at Mentality, very helpful, very respectful. It was an easy out. You go in a week after, they give you the results right away. And once you find that you're able to do it, just that thought, the energy already picked up a little bit. Most of it could have been mentally wise, but knowing that, hey, I get to start this, it was incredible.
Learn more today at MoTUSA.com.
What's better than free? How about play free all year? This January at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you can win over $2,000 in reward play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games to earn prize drawing entries. Then stop by each Thursday night in January to see if you're a winner. $400,000 in prizes is up for grabs. Over 40 winners each week. Yeah, free is for me. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
Join us at Fiserv Forum as we celebrate the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on Sunday, January 14th. This annual MLK game presented by We Energies honors Dr. King's legacy and his spirit of community advocacy. Don't miss Milwaukee Bucks basketball in action and all the special things we have in store to honor Dr. King on Sunday, January 14th. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit bucks.com/impact.
Tito's handmade vodka is so good and smooth, you can mix it with anything. Now, hear us out. If your usual brunch cocktail sounds like a Tito's Bloody Mary stacked with garnishes is more like Tito's. Sounds pretty good. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
What was a rebound? What did you just say?
Robust.
Robust.
You could say robust. Doesn't robust sound like a nice word of saying just a click below fat?
No, buddy, you're not fat.
Well,
you're
there's
rebound.
Well, Charles Barkley.
There's another
round mound of rebound.
On 94.5 ESPN.
But I'm thinking it's time for a change. Get out of your lane. The more that you stay there, you feel like it's unfair.
I know it's a few days removed at this point, but I was reflecting on my reaction when the Packers punched their ticket to the playoffs, and the overwhelming feeling that I had was pride. I was proud of everything that this young team had been through. The transition from the previous quarterback to the new quarterback, the criticism for Brian Gutekunst and company, the wondering if Matt LaFleur is a good coach, the youngest roster, all of it. The ups and downs, the struggles, obviously, that the team went through in October, the Joe Barry effect, the Jair situation. There have been a lot of moments where we have wondered what in the world would become of this Packers team. And we set the bar pretty low, actually. We said, listen, just get through the season and figure out if Jordan Love is your franchise quarterback. That's it. We don't have very high expectations for you guys. I even said months and months and months ago when people were talking about this whole thing imploding, the Packers are not a buffoon franchise. They've never been a buffoon franchise. They've had buffoon circumstances. They've had buffoon situations, but they're not a buffoon franchise. And so I was proud when that game went final on Sunday, and the Packers did what they couldn't do last year and beat a division foe and punched their ticket to the postseason. And I do agree with most people who say that what happens now is gravy. But I also got this little voice chirping in my head, Gabe, that says, why not Green Bay? Why not let Green Bay be the team?
All right, calm down, Kurt Schilling.
Derek Rose, Kirk Schilling.
Like, we got. I mean, come on. This has been around for 20 years now, right? We got to be better.
Who's the Kevin Youkilis?
The Kevin Youkilis. I don't know the Kevin Youkilis Kirk Schilling story.
Well, no, he was just naming random Red Sox players.
Well, yeah, Uke wasn't he a large part? No, Kevin Millar was a big part of the Why Not Us, Don't Let Us Get One, the whole thing when they came back from down 0-3.
Are you trying to tell me that that's not a sentiment that Matt LaFleur is preaching this week in the locker room?
I'm saying we just got to be better than the why not Green Bay, why not us? Like, come on. Again, that's been around for 20 years. Let's get more creative.
You got
Let's
one?
Be better.
You got one?
No, but I'm just saying we can avoid it.
Yeah, you threw this on us. We're just looking for more creativity. If I say I felt relief, is that a good feeling to feel about the Packers? Because I personally stake so much in wanting Aaron Rodgers gone, and to see the program flip on its head the way it did and for it to come out the other end as a smash, a resounding success. Like, I was excited. Don't get me wrong. I was fist pumping, punching the air, having a great time watching the game. But it was relief because all the things, the boogeyman everyone told us about of you can't do it 3 times in a row, careful what you wish for, this is 20 years of bad quarterback play that you guys are signing yourself up for, I was relieved. Like, they did it. Brian Gutekunst did it. Matt LaFleur did it. And Jordan Love is a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, I wanted to enjoy it a little bit more, and I think I reflected that in the post-game show and the last few days that we've been doing shows, because after this, because you said it earlier today, Jen, nobody's expecting the Packers to win. Like, and if they win, if they lose, we're not going to be disappointed because, well, they're the 7th seed, and just getting here was kind of the goal. But after this, expectations come. And we know what that's like. Not to say that it can't be fun with the expectations, because it will be. But there's something about when you don't have those expectations, when you don't know what a team's going to look like, and you get to this point, like that ride, the beginning of the ride is just a little bit more fun than it is when you get those expectations and now you have to live up to them every year. Like this is just a little bit more fun. And I think a lot of people expressed that this week of, man, this team's just fun. We're having fun with this because the expectations aren't there. The expectations, once those come, that's when disappointment starts to set in.
Would you be shocked if they won on Sunday?
Wouldn't be shocked. Again, not betting on it.
No,
would
that's
I take
my
the 7?
job.
Would I take the 7.5? I'd think about it just because I think it could be closer. But this is an uphill battle. Like, this Cowboys team is, especially at home. Adam Schefter said it earlier. Like, at home, this is just a different team, man. And they've got things set up for them. Now, they need their defense to step up and play the way they did against Detroit and play the way they did against Kansas City, play the way they did against Chicago, and not be the one that allowed Tommy DeVito to be the offensive player of the week in the NFC. They need Jair Alexander to show up and be the guy he was last year against Minnesota and Justin Jefferson when he held him to one catch for 15 yards. They need some of those things defensively to fall into place. And that's the big concern, because this Dallas offense, they average 38 points per game at home. Average 38 points per game at home.
That's a lot.
So, like, potentially giving up 30 points would be good for Joe Barry in this defense. And then the Packers would have to be a pretty perfect offensive performance to get to that mark and keep pace with the Cowboys.
800-990-3776. So we have got pride. We have got relief. We have got excitement after the Packers punched their ticket to the postseason, taking on the Dallas Cowboys this weekend. Lots of reaction rolling in.
Runnings. We've got pride. We've got power. We got a badass mother who won't take no crap from nobody.
Are they the Cool Runnings? I bet we could come up with a movie comp. I talked earlier about
just the way you said pride there. That was the first thing that popped in.
The boys on the boat, and you're talking about Cool Runnings. We could find an upstart movie team that is comparable to this Green Bay Packers team. We could find it. You want to do that tomorrow? We can do it tomorrow. One game. One game.
You got the annexation of Puerto Rico in there.
Let's see. Ryan from Milwaukee weighing in saying Green Bay only has a chance if they win the turnover battle and are able to run the football successfully. Dallas has struggled stopping the run. Also have fears of Preston Smith covering CeeDee Lamb in the slot. Can't imagine why.
Yeah,
haven't seen that.
Accept it. It's going to happen.
Ryan, get over it.
Yep. It's going to happen. Hopefully Preston does the best he can.
Meanwhile,
close.
Ricardo from Canada weighing in saying Green Bay ain't no one's underdog. We're going in. We're winning winning 38-32. Defensive line will steal the show with 5 sacks.
That's bad mojo.
Why?
Because that's
he's
a Mike
manifesting.
McCarthy line.
No one's underdog?
Yeah, that's a Mike McCarthy
Maybe
thing.
he's stealing it. He's taking it away from Mike McCarthy, like you're going to take the victory away from the Cowboys.
But I don't like the juju of. Oh man, McCarthy's got some great ones.
Great ones. Train has left the station. That was a good one from all those
got a
years
foot on
ago.
the gas, hands on the wheel.
Polluted mindset.
Polluted mindset was great. Stacking success.
Stacking success is my
Oh,
favorite
that was so
one.
good. I use it all the time.
So do I.
The unsung heroes of this playoff push, that'll be the offensive line, says Chef Ed. Protecting Love and opening holes for Jones will be the difference. Could be.
I totally agree with what Schefter said, and I think the way the Packers win this game is not a shootout. It's getting a lead and keeping a lead and kind of doing the same thing they did to both the Lions and Chiefs. I think that's the only way you can win this game against the Cowboys.
But you said they could win.
Yeah. Anybody.
Would you be shocked? You wouldn't be shocked.
No. I would be surprised.
What's
not
the
shocked.
difference?
Shocked is a step up, is a click above.
It's the
shocked, surprised,
intrigued.
The scale of outcomes, shocked is the top.
Yeah.
Perplexed.
No.
Floored. Make a new scale.
Yeah, floored. Where does floored fit in there?
Ooh, floored feels higher than shocked. I was floored.
Yeah.
Well, where's beside yourself? Is that in there?
Maybe above surprised.
I think it's above surprised.
I'd be beside myself. That's different, though. It's not like an outcome.
Yeah.
We got to figure this out. And we will on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy right after this.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Some people just know that the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not one based on the tailgater who's testing the laws of physics with a table and a grill and 6 camping chairs all balanced on the roof of a small sedan. Make that 4 camping chairs. Why would you pay a rate based on anyone else? Get a rate based on you with DriveWise and the Allstate app.
Not available in California, subject to terms and conditions. Some states' participation in DriveWise allows Allstate to use your driving data for purposes of rating, while in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Safer drivers will save with DriveWise. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, we have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-378-4750. So if you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, call now. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-378-4750 to speak with a live person now. Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
Hi everyone, John Miller here from PDS, a Converge company. PDS has been providing technology solutions and transforming IT for area companies for over 30 years. Today, we are helping organizations integrate digital workplace strategies that are giving today's worker the true ability to work from anywhere as they balance work and life both securely and productively. And as HP's largest partner in the area, our combined solutions have never been more important. If you're struggling with this, know we stand ready to help. From ideation to transformation, we can help you evolve your work from anywhere strategy. Learn more at pdsit.net.
ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta here to tell you about one of the best purchases I recently made, an infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. It's an easy-to-install sauna that is great for a post-workout, travel, or long-day detoxification, and it has a rapid heat-up time. Using Good Health Saunas can also help reduce stress, improve circulation, and make your skin glow. Got an athlete in your family or just someone with an active lifestyle? Infrared saunas are perfect for muscle and tissue recovery as well. Learn more today at goodhealthsaunas.com, goodhealthsaunas.com.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Pius star basketball player Jaquan Johnson. The senior eclipsing the 2,000 career point mark last weekend after putting up a monster performance in their win over Greenfield. Johnson dropped 46 points in the 80-73 Pius win. Johnson's rise to stardom has been a 4-year process, though. He averaged 15.7 points in his freshman season to now, as a senior, 34.2 points a game he's averaging this year. The senior point guard is already committed to playing Division I hoops starting next season at Bradley University in Illinois. Congratulations once again to UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Jaquan Johnson of Pius High School, and good luck on the rest of your season.
This is Kevin Van Rossum, president of 3 Tree Marketing. If your company is struggling to create a buzz or just looking for a new way to stand out, our team is here to help point you in the right direction. We'll assist you in building your brand and prove we truly know what works. Experts at 3 Tree can build a one-of-a-kind gifting experience that can set your brand apart and show how much you value your customers as well as your employees. At 3 Tree Marketing, we chase partners, not orders. Visit 3treemarketing.com to learn more about what we can do for you.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Do you like your pickles warm or cold?
Want my pickle a little warm.
Warm's good.
It's better than cold.
Cold
You
can
got
be
shrinkage.
good too.
Yeah, well, no,
Cold
shrinkage
can
gets
be good.
involved. It's not great.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Here we go.
Remember, you can listen to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy streaming live on YouTube on our ESPN Milwaukee channel. We got some folks in the comments there wondering if you and I swapped sweatshirts today, Gabe. I'm wearing yours, you're wearing mine. It's probably because yours has flowers on it, and mine is 3 sizes too big.
Are those azaleas?
They are azaleas.
Well, that's a master sweatshirt.
Thank you. Thank you for noticing, Josh.
For sure.
I'm a flower appreciator.
For what it's worth, they also think that we have a bit of an attitude.
We do?
Yeah, we don't pay attention to the stream as much as we should. I got a lot of things here, folks. I got the phone line, I got the talk and text line, I got the Twitter line, I got the YouTube thing, and the YouTube thing is relatively new, so I'm just figuring it out. I'm just remembering that we have it, Dennis.
Wait, so he's giving us attitude because he thinks we have attitude?
Yeah, he's returning the favor, I suppose. All right, so we were coming up with...
turn this thing to 11.
I'm trying to neutralize the conflict. Josh is...
Ramp it up, baby. Bring it.
All right, we were talking about synonyms for surprised. I asked Joshy and Gabe, would you be surprised if the Packers beat the Cowboys this weekend? Because I said I would not. I think they can do it, and I gave a bunch of reasons earlier in the show. You can find that on Wisconsin On Demand. So then we were wondering, what's bigger than surprised? And we said shocked. And then we were like, well, what's bigger than shocked? And we said...
So I've got 6 words here. Definitive ranking. Well, we'll start at 6. We'll go 6 to 1.
Thank you.
6 is surprised. Yeah. 6 is kind of the low end. 5, I went astonished.
I'd be astonished if they won.
4, stunned.
I'd be stunned if they won. Stunned over astonished?
Stunned over astonished. Because I feel stunned is like you're frozen, you know?
I'd be stunned.
Yeah.
I'd be astonished.
Mm-hmm. Then 3, I go to shocked. I'd be shocked if they won.
Okay, shocked is higher than surprised, we know.
Yep.
Astonished still feels... Astonished, it feels a little too pretty.
It's a flowery word. It's a fancy word.
That's why it's down near the bottom.
Okay. These better be good. All I know is these last few better be good.
Well, 2 is floored.
Floored is a good word. I'd be floored. That's bigger than shocked, right?
Yeah.
I'm imagining you collapse.
Yes, exactly. Like you're down. Exactly. That's where the word comes from.
Yeah.
You're actually down on the floor because And number 1, flabbergasted. I'd be flabbergasted if they won.
Flabbergasted sounds good. I think I just like that it has flabber in it. Like there's something about the flabber part of it that's just fun to say. Flabber, and then gasted, flabbergasted. Would you be flabbergasted if they won?
No.
Well, no.
Shocked. You said no to shocked, so I guess you're going to say no to flabbergasted.
Yes, correct.
I can't go above astonished.
Yeah. I mean, they're underdogs. They're not Steelers versus Bills dogs, but, like if the Steelers win, I'd be flabbergasted.
Well, what's their line?
I think they're double digits. I think they're close to 10.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen, huh? Hopefully we got the big guy Chew back tomorrow. I'd like to talk to him about some of his preseason predictions.
Which ones?
Any of them.
The dude rode the roller coaster harder than any of us.
It's funny how the same rules don't apply to him that he applies to everyone else.
How so?
If Gabe was in the exact same situation Gabe would be getting picked on for not being here today.
Oh, yeah. I wondered that when he told us he wasn't coming. I was like, somebody doesn't want to face the music.
I didn't want to bully him, but come on.
Wilde and Tausch is coming up next on ESPN Milwaukee. We'll see ya.
Things are going to be a bit slow eastbound 94 from 84.